I have to start off with a story and a disclaimer because I am not above God, His direction, my chastisements, the guidance, all of it. I get dealt it as much as I do being the channel. So it's kind of interesting how it's constantly a mirror, and this is just the beautiful part of all of it, truthfully. So there has been this theme coming up over and over and over, and it has to do with kind of like claiming your gifts and being seen and things like that. And I've spoken recently in various videos and things about where I'm struggling with this, or have been for the past few seasons. But the same theme of hearing what you're meant to hear keeps coming up. And with my brother, he's being told to be quiet and it's driving him crazy, and I get that because I've been in those seasons. And with my divine masculine, he's been getting a lot of synchronicities and things of hearing what he needs to hear, and I keep pointing it out, like, hey, we always where we're meant to be, hearing what we're meant to hear, all those things, right? But I had to pause a moment because I'm like, don't I say that a lot? Like, I feel like I'm saying that all the time, like in almost every single one of my channels. And God's like, so why is my mouthpiece not doing what they're supposed to be doing? And I'm like, I hear you. I do. Why? And I said, because I haven't been making it a priority, right? And I've let a level of fear come into that place, right? And like right now I'm even channeling, I've not given you a spirit of fear. I hear you. And I've been constantly back and forth throughout the years about what and how much of my journey I want to share, themes, elements, how much of those stories, how much I'm being guided to share, what needs protection and things like this. But have come through and still sitting in this space where I have to trust that protection that I feel is needed, I'm covered by God, right? That nothing that's meant for me will be lost, that like all of those platitudes that if you've been here for any amount of time, you've heard me say, right? And I came to this kind of realization in a couple different areas of my life where that same kind of residual fear was present. And ultimately, it comes down to, like, I am a mouthpiece for God. I know why I've been called to be a leader. Like, I've been consciously aware of that my entire life. I've said my entire life, I'm a leader by example. And there's been spaces where my love, my journey, the things that I've shared about my twin flame journey and different things, I can't think of another word other than like use and abuse, but others they've done damages, right? They've spoken ill against it and various things. And I've it feels like having water put on your fire, right? And you feel like you want to protect it. And I feel like I've been holding on so tight trying to protect this thing, but ultimately twin flames are here to serve in a spiritual capacity. I'm here to show, devil card coming out at me here. I'm here to show what that is. Twin flames aren't about romantic love. It's about the true embodiment of unconditional love and what that looks like, and grace and all of the things that are Christ consciousness, right? And it doesn't matter how others are receiving that or what they may do against that, because they will have to answer to God for that, right? My job is to be here, be a channel, be an example to the best of my ability throughout my own unfoldment, and to not shrink back in fear, but to trust and rely that, you know, there's a rhyme and a reason, God's in control, all of those things. So this is me trying to say that I'm not just going to say it, but I'm really going to work at coming back out into that, because again, I'm very aware of where I've let those external influences put me in a space of hiding, right? Or allowing that shadow to kind of envelop me again. So hopefully there is something that mirrors in your life that you needed to hear there. But we're going to jump into a set of, I gotta name it something else, shadow session, and see what's coming up at this time, if there's an overall theme for the collective, things that we need to hear. All right. Hopefully I don't mess up the video with my headphones. You know what? Let me get one moment. I gotta get the case because I can't hear myself. Apologies. I can't hear myself think with the headphones in. Alright. What is coming up to be healed and transmuted at this time? And hopefully this doesn't mess up the audio on this video. What is coming up to be healed and transmuted? Alright, this jumped out 3 times. 9 of Cups. Everything has turned out well. Enjoy your success. So there is this element where you don't see how far you've come and how successful you've actually been. And I've experienced this in so many different spaces in life, but it kind of comes in with a 4 of Cups energy where you're looking at everything else, or even 5 of Cups, but you're looking at everything else and you're not seeing or appreciating how far you've come, what you've worked on, because you're constantly, and this is just a societal thing, a collective thing, is we're so focused on that lack, right? So you need to shift into that gratitude space of being grateful of how far you've come and what you've worked on and all of those little things along the way, and really taking stock of that, because you can't get to wherever you're going without being here, right? And you've been prepared, you've been through this process time and time again. And a quote that comes up a lot, and even my pastor said it today, is I'm not where I want to be, but I'm not where I was, right? So look at that. You may not be where you want to be, but you're not where you were. And that can kind of go both ways as well. And I've had a lot of people mirroring that in my life where they're like, I'm not where I used to be, and I'm having a really hard time with that. And it's like, yeah, but that's bigger. You're not where you used to be because your vibration has changed. Good, bad, or indifferent, however you want to look at that, you have changed, you have grown, you have shifted, you have evolved past those experiences. And I need to go back and talk to my masculine about this one because it's triggering me in some other ways here. But it's important. And while there's that sense of loss or lack or whatever it is, that disillusionment of loss of self even, but you are no longer that person, and that is an amazing, beautiful thing. And coming back to presence and saying who, what, where, when, why, now is how you step into that space of gratitude, is how you step into that space of appreciation, of being here so that you can get to wherever you're going, right? But this moment is all that exists anyway. All right, why is this coming up to be triggered now within the healing or spiritual journey? Ace of Wands, so that you can take action upon your ideas. There's something here with what you're not seeing. And it's almost like seeing through the veil, or like there's something in front of you that you can't see. And that's, again, another thing that's been coming up, is like the best place to hide something is in plain sight. The evidence and signs that you are seeking already exist within your environment, within your experiences. And every time I catch them, I call them glimmers, because it's there, right? You can feel it. And if you can feel it and you can visually put yourself there, then it's going to come about. You wouldn't have that dream on your heart and in your head if it wasn't possible, if it wasn't meant for you, if it didn't already exist and was unfolding in your life in some way, right? And I see this one so much, even when my faith is shaky, even when, like, I don't know whether or not I can trust myself, or everything that I'm seeing and perceiving looks like it's impossible. But nothing is impossible with God, right? So whatever this is, this reflection that you need to do on what you actually do have, how far you've come, is going to spark within you a kind of new beginning where you will be able to take what you've learned, take what you have, and expand that to create something new for yourself. That was a lot. Let's get some simplicity, please, Spirit. What aspects are we being asked to address? Again, way too much. What aspect? Thank you. Four of Cups. I told you. See? God is good. Four of Cups. There is something that you are not seeing. You are looking at everything else. But what you are seeking is right in front of you. It's right there. It's just a matter of shifting your perspective and seeing the opportunity, because we kind of have this mirrored image here, and this is more towards the Ace of Cups here, but this Ace of Wands, Ace of Cups, they are opportunities which are being handed to you. One being from this very emotional, intuitive space, and one being this very action-oriented, practical space, right? So it's that passion and that deeper emotion within you. It's some kind of deeper truth, right? It's that, I mean, it's passion. It's that very deep-seated thing that sets you on fire, sets you ablaze, and gets you moving. And for whatever reason, you're not seeing it. Perhaps it's shifted and changed, or it needs some kind of renewal. It's going to be different for everyone. But there's something that you personally are not seeing that you need to shift your perspective from a space of meditation and renewal. And I'm getting kind of a channel here about Buddha and enlightenment and sitting under the Bodhi tree. So maybe go do some research on that. But definitely take some time to ground and meditate. The Bodhi tree and trees in general are about as above, so below. So get in contact with your higher power and find out what that connection is so that you can gain that clarity. All right, how is this misaligned? Hangman. I saw that comment. Again, it's about that perspective. It's about shifting that perspective of what and how you are seeing and perceiving things. Because there is an illusion here, and it would not surprise me if Seven of Wands or Cups pops out, because there is this disillusionment, this lack of clarity and perspective that you are having when it comes to your journey as a whole, or something very specific. But it feels more like the big overall reaching. It's like when you're standing in front of a painting, you're not going to see the bigger picture, right? And maybe that's what the tree is, you know, give yourself that higher perspective, that bird's eye view, that God perspective. Pull it out and look at the bigger picture. I hear you. But that's the thing, is there's all of these things and places and people and things that have to fall in and out of place for things to come into alignment, right? We have free will, we have free choice. So where do you have power and control? Where can you take aligned action? Because whatever's being mirrored, which I talked about in my last video, is what you need to do, is where you need to put your focus, right? So whatever that mirror is, whatever you are getting up in arms and passionately angry about, use it. That righteous indignation is powerful. It is just as it is a place in which you want to set your boundaries from. All right, how can we redirect and heal this energy? 6 of Swords. Move from problems and be mindful what you take. So, again, this is about that transit between what has been and where you are going, and just how, I heard tumultuous, that's his word, that process can be, right? And the up and down and the rockiness and the emotional toll that takes to go through that process. So what are you leaving behind? Are you staying in this martyrdom energy where you're looking behind and you're looking in that rearview mirror? Fix your sights on what is in front of you. Fix your sights on what is above. And right now I'm hearing my grandma, there's this video that we used for her memorial, and she's saying, keep your eyes on the road. And that's very much it. You need to keep your eyes fixed forward. Keep your eyes fixed on the things above, on the spiritual, on that higher perspective. So what do you need to do to let go of residual hurts, animosity, resentment, just a sense of being forlorn? Just whatever's behind you, let it be behind you and keep moving forward. Maybe that's all that you need to do. Maybe that shift in perspective is to, face forward. All right, what action can be taken? 9 of Pentacles. This comes back to that 9 of Cups. You need to take a moment to look at how far you've come and what you have accomplished. If you don't already have a practice of gratitude, lean into gratitude. Having that appreciation for where you are and why you are where you are and what you do have, strengths, lessons, the takeaways. If you're having a problem with things in your past, ask yourself what the lessons are and hold on to those and let go of everything else. Guidance or advice. 3 of Wands and 10 of Swords. Kind of just mirroring the overall theme here, but the action that you need to take is finding that inspiration and letting the past be the past. You can't change what has already been done. You can only take positive, conscious, intentional action forward from where you are. And this is where things like resentment and animosities and shame and all of those other things live. And they're not negative emotions, and people struggle with them so hard simply because of how they perceive them. And maybe that's what you're being asked to talk about, and that's something else that I was supposed to bring to somebody specifically, was this idea of shame. You just need to, it's not that you need to feel it or release it, you need to just change your perspective of what it means. Whatever that hurt is, if it's something that you are holding against yourself, if it's something that others have done to you, whatever that is, you need to shift the perspective onto what the lessons were and who, what, where, when, why, and move forward with that from a place of power and determination and self-actualization. All right, what don't we see about this or its purpose? 4 of Wands. This is creating within you and your life a new foundation. Taking what you have learned and gone through and analyzing it and saying, you know, this has served me and I'm going to keep these lessons and allow it to refine my character, but I'm going to leave behind the hurt and anything else that, you know, isn't constructive to building your new foundation, leave it by the wayside. And that's a very 10 of Wands, I believe, kind of energy there. Maybe it'll pop out for us, but it's pack it up, take what's necessary, leave what is not. And that is what will help you build your foundation, because you've been building it and it's just this conscious shift within yourself that needs to happen. Because there is an opportunity that is coming in for you and you have been prepared. You are ready. Whether you recognize it or not, you have been prepared. Everything that you've been through up until this moment has prepared you. Nothing is presented to you unless you have been prepared to receive it. But in our own wounding, in our own hurt, we can reject our blessings, we can reject our opportunities, we can sabotage them, we can willfully turn away from them. We can deny the gifts that we are being given because we have free will and because we are imperfect humans, right, on the spiritual journey. But you also have that conscious choice. If you were here watching this video, you are now conscious of this. Take the aligned action to be ready and open to receive your gifts. And that comes from healing your heart. You receive into your heart space. Find that space within you and that knowing that even if in your solar plexus you don't feel ready or worthy or deserving or whatever it is, you are being granted a gift and an opportunity because what you have been through has prepared you. All right. Is there anything else we need to know, Spirit? What did I tell you? God is good. 10 of Wands. Let it go. The burden, the weight of what you have been through is not yours to carry. Give it to God. Choose the lessons and the takeaways that you want to take with you. Allow that to be part of your foundation. Allow it to refine within you your values, morals, boundaries, and beliefs. Leave the rest on God. Be grateful for how God has chosen to use that to refine you, to prepare you, to create this new foundation within you. But you don't need to hold on to the hurt anymore. You don't need to hurt anymore. Ace of Swords. A clarity and a new beginning is coming for you. That sense of clarity within is what allows you to create boundaries that are beneficial and from a place of knowing who you are and what you want and what you stand for and all of those things. And that becomes so magnetic because it's so much easier to say yes and no from a place of alignment. And the more that you say no to anything that makes you uncomfortable, what you know isn't aligned, what feels just a little bit off, just say no, right? Saying no means that the most beautifully aligned yes can find its way to you. God and the universe will give you more than what you ask for, more than you can begin to fathom. All right? So I hope this was insightful for someone. I feel really great about it. I heard what I needed to hear and more, and that was beautiful. And again, I'm going to try my very best to make this a priority so that I can serve in my capacity with knowing and faith over fear. All right. Namaste. I love you all. If you would like personal reading or healing at any time, please reach out to me.